Welcome back to the Jeremiah Show. My special guest today, Frank Fitzpatrick. And we're listening to Les Nubians. What You Get. It's a Paris remix right now. This slick song makes me want to go sit in a lounge somewhere and have a martini or something. Or go to Paris. I'll just fly to Paris and do that, have some champagne. We didn't get to talk about food. I know you're a big foodie and music and the connection, but in the restaurant business, there are tricks in the bars and things like that where you are the RPMs and you speed up.
Right.
As the beat speeds up, people spend more money. It's a proven trick in the restaurant business, but we don't have time to get into that now. But I just
we'll do that in the marketing segment.
Yeah. So we just talked.
This is the human segment.
The human segment, yes. The human segment. This whole interview is very human, and the great news is that there is music out there for you. Whatever ails you, you're having a bad day, a good day, anything that you need, as we've talked about, the music is there for you. And do you find that soul artists really, I guess, contribute to all the great health and mental health factors? Is there the reason you chose the genre soul music for this album and for this?
It's a mix. I use so soul is a broad piece. So we talked about soul, like, one of the things that Garth says in the interview and Behind the Beat, it's like soul is in everything, so it's, when I do a score for a movie with an 80-piece orchestra, I put some soul into it, it's, so when we talk about soul artists in particular, does that mean that they should be the healthiest artists? The road of an artist and the life of an artist, as you know, is not necessarily a healthy one. It's a very challenging and surrounded by some unhealthy elements. So for me, it's genuine and authentic to work inside of soul because I grew up in it, in Motown, and that, in that Bob, and it was what kind of saved me. It didn't mean that I didn't listen to, see the Who in those early days and the Rolling Stones and Led Zeppelin and Pink Floyd, and that music was all fairly soulful to me, but not in the same way. So soul's really interesting. I know we can't go deep here because we got to roll off, but it's it came out it has a long history going all the way back to Africa and the slave, helping people get through the slave trade, coming into the cities, going into adapting to the civil rights movement. So, and coming out of the church, out of gospel, it basically became a form. It went to the streets just by dropping God out of the language. So soul music has always had this history of healing and perseverance. And a lot of the artists in the 60s and 70s, we weren't as focused on health in the 60s and 70s, where we were focused on perseverance, like justice and getting through, just living, right? And now we're at another evolution where we can focus more. What if we go focus deeper on our own health so that we can learn more to unleash our potential and our soul force and live better, right? So that's the evolution of that. The book behind you, thank you for it, was something I created. Basically, it kind of covers 40 years of my work, and it has any of those prescriptive areas that you want to know how to meditate better, sleep better. A lot of scientists involved, a lot of doctors. The foreword's written by one of the foremost guys in the field, Dr. Daniel Levitin, good friend and colleague. And so that's a great handbook for people who want to improve their own lives, want to improve their family lives, want to raise kids in a different environment and help them. The next book I come in, The Amplified Future, is much more about this kind of technology and what we were talking about with the earbuds and the hearables. And I write about that for Forbes on a column called amplifiedfuture.biz, but you can find that on my own site, frankfitzpatrick.com. And so
you got me to sign up for Forbes today too. I did that too.
No.
I'm following you everywhere now.
I apologize.
I'm not a stalker. I'm just a follower.
That's all good, man.
By the way, you mentioned the book behind me, and for those of you who are listening and can't see it, the book jacket is Amplified: Unleash Your Potential Through the Power of Music. by Frank Fitzpatrick. He narrates the audiobook, and Fred Sanders narrates the audiobook. It's published by Amplified Media. And then you're talking about the new book that you've got coming out, Frank, which is Amplified Future, Health, Happiness, and the Hearables Revolution.
So that'll be a little bit down the pipeline. So I'll come back on for, and you don't have to remember that one. I'll come back for that. So
just do what I do. Go subscribe to everything with Frank and his newsletter. I'm going to put in there, I'm going to put in the podcast copy, links to all the websites and where you can find all of these things that we've referenced. Frank, thanks so much for coming on the show today. I hope we did small justice to the incredible work that you're doing. You're my new hero. You've got my new favorite album. I don't, you're going to fill up my inbox, I'm sure, with a lot of great newsletters and stuff like that I've subscribed to by choice. I was happy to do so. And so happy to meet you, Frank. And is there anybody you'd like to thank or say hello to, or anyway?
Yeah, I won't mention there's a lot of artists on the record, so I won't thank them all, but I want to thank all the artists and collaborators. You don't do something like this over such a large, and all the filmmakers and all the people. So, from Ziggy Marley to Jill Scott to Lena to my sisters, my Parisian sisters, Les Nubians, and and Van Hunt. There's so many people it'd be a long, long list. I want to thank you, Jeremiah, and your team, because, you're my hero. We're doing this together. We know it takes a community. We need to be working as a community to make these things happen. So nobody does it alone. And I wish I could thank everybody, but just know, if you're listening, and that I'm holding you in my heart. And if you know me, I always hold you in my heart and prayers. So, and I'm really grateful for this opportunity to share time with you, brother.
You come back anytime, Frank. There's so much more I have got to ask you, and I want to know about everything here. Get the book, though. This is a great book. You can get it on Amazon. And there was a goal. There was a goal that I read somewhere that said you want to reach 1 billion people with this message. I hope we can. Everybody out there, tell 10 people, and let's hit that billion for you and reach that goal if you haven't already. Thank you, Frank. Frank Fitzpatrick. The new album, again, is Soul Vision Part 1 Neo. We're going to listen to Anthony Hamilton, which is this song. Soul Music is on the full album, Soul Vision, which is out on November 20th. This is Soul Music, Anthony Hamilton. Love Anthony Hamilton. Enjoy.
Yeah, he's the best. Thank you,
He's
Anthony.
the best.
Thank you. Yeah, he's the best.
Thank you, Frank.
Thank you, brother.
Communicate, but listen more and evolve. Everybody have a great day.